We are back with a surprise live stream of the Bald Brad Show. Nobody saw this coming. Not even myself, but we are here, baby. And we're going to be breaking down all the major news of today. We got the U.S. shutdown hits its 15th day, baby, as judge blocks layoffs. We're going to break that one down for you. Trump and Patel unveil Operation Summer Heat. 8,700 arrests and drug seizures. We have Capitol Police investigate swastika on American flag in Representative Dade Taylor's office, I believe. Heck, we got Blue City's emergency declaration is slammed for prioritizing illegals over civilians. Who would have thought? Virginia parents hit with steep financial hurdle in a fight against school punishment. We have all sorts of stuff happening. Now you see, why did we do a surprise live stream? What's going on? Because things are popping off right now, folks. I mean, we have so much stuff. Anna Paulina Luna is handed over secret Kennedy documents from the Russians. Dude, when I was reading the headlines today, doing show prep, I'm like, there's no way I can cover all this tomorrow episode, so we got to do something right now. We got to get into the mix right now. So let's jump into it. Enough of me talking. The U.S. government hits its third week as judge blocks layoffs. So here we go. The government shutdown, now in its third week since October 1st, has furloughed 800,000 workers and is costing the economy up to $15 billion daily after Congress failed to pass funding legislation. And it's not Congress, it's the Democrat Party, because the Democrat Party wants to give all your hard-earned money that you all work very, very hard for to illegal aliens and everybody else that wants to be lazy. A federal judge in San Francisco, get this made waves today. A federal judge in San Francisco temporarily blocked the Trump administration's plan to lay off 4,100 federal workers, deeming it unlawful, while the administration redirected tariff revenue to ensure military pay and support the WIC program for 7 million low-income families. Amid the impasse, the administration proposed doubling a bailout for Argentina to $40 billion, prompting Democratic criticism over prioritizing foreign aid during domestic hardships. Hey, I hate to say it, I agree. I agree with the criticism. Why are we bailing out a foreign country to the tune of $40 billion when we don't have the money? This looks really bad on the administration for sure. So Judge Susan hereby blocks President Trump from firing federal employees while Democrats have the government shut down. Wow. So this comes from Eric Doherty. Holy crap, she thinks she's president of the United States. We have a huge judicial tyranny problem. You really saw this kind of out in the open, don't you? Just the blatant overreach of the judiciary. I mean, you really do see it. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with, but the law's the law and the rules are the rules. Look at this. This isn't a $40 billion bailout for Argentina. This is a $40 billion bailout to the Trump-connected fund managers at BlackRock, Fidelity, PIMCO, and mega wealthy friends who invested heavily into Argentina. There might be some truth to that. I ain't for bailing any country out. They need to start bailing themselves out. Stop relying on all of us for our hard work to bail them out. But is it a loan? Is there interest on this $40 billion? If so, maybe I'll second guess this. If we're going to be making money off of other countries and our hard work, then you know what? 40 billion plus. What do you guys think in the chat? 20, 30%? What are y'all thinking? Something astronomical? Yeah, we'll give you some money. Sure. We don't got it, but we'll give it to you. We'll lend it to you. We'll borrow. Okay, here we go. Let's do what the banks do with us. Because we have to borrow this 40 billion. We don't have it. We're borrowing all our money. We're in debt. We're $37 trillion in debt. We don't have the money, so we're borrowing it ourselves. Let's say we borrow it at 4 or 5% interest, let's just say. Well, let's offer it. Let's offer it to Argentina at 10%. So we're making 5% money on this. I'm for that. Borrowing money to make money. Okay, sure. So there's that for you as well. All right, we also have Trump and Patel unveil Operation Summer Heat's 8,700 arrests and drug seizures. Man, we're going to break down a lot of stuff, folks. But before we do that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate everybody that comes and joins the show, joins the channel. We do our normal morning broadcast, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So appreciate everybody that always joins us at 6 a.m. God bless all of you. Well, Trump and Patel unveil Operation Summer Heat, announced the results of it, a June-launched initiative that led to 8,700 arrests of violent offenders, seizure of 2,281 firearms. Whoa! 421 I mean, look at the number here. 421 kilograms of fentanyl and 45,000 kilograms of cocaine. I don't even know how much this is in terms of the level of wiping out a ton of people in the United States. It has to be something unprecedented. The operation contributed to broader administration achievements, including 28,000 violent felon arrests and a 30% increase in locating missing children over 7 months. Y'all remember when Joey lost 340,000 children to forced labor and drug trafficking? Do y'all remember that one? Really, really wild stuff from the Biden administration. And then when they were pressed on it, they're like, oh, we're doing everything we can. We're trying to make it happen. Yeah, sure you are. Sure. Well, Trump outlined plans to deploy federal agents and possibly National Guard to San Francisco to address urban crime, facing opposition from California Governor Gavin Newsom and state officials who point to declining local crime rates. Uh-oh. Well, here we are.
I talked about crime, but I never knew that we were going to get into it like we did. I used to watch these cities with the murders. Chicago recently had one deal where they had 11 murders in one weekend, and they said, well, yeah, but it was a holiday weekend. They actually told me that was the reason, like it was okay because it was a holiday. It was Labor Day. These people are the worst. They really have to, I tell you what, the people in Chicago and the people in places like that can be fixed. At some point, it gets to where you can't fix it anymore. It's too far gone. And we have some cities
Not
like
wrong.
that. But these are great cities that can be fixed. I'm going to be strongly recommending, at the request of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco. There's one of our great cities 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now it's a mess. And we have great support in San Francisco, so I'd like to recommend that for inclusion, maybe in your.
So there you have it. Donald Trump doing the Lord's work. Dan Bongino's out here. Thank you for the support and patience during this critical operation targeting the most violent criminals across the nation. We continue our push to crush violent crimes as our summer heat operation wraps up. Here are some of the results of the FBI personnel in the field. Remember, this is one of the major pushes by Patel and Bongino, was getting these FBI agents out there to do this kind of work again. Remember when we all grew up in the 80s and the 90s and there's all these drug busts, and it's something you'd always see with the guys and gals in the FBI jackets carrying out huge boxes, and a bunch of drug people are arrested all the time, being thrown into a bunch of white vans, and they're doing a huge press briefing. We out here on Chicago and 14th Street. We got the biggest drug bust in Chicago history. They were out there stuffing some deep delicious pizzas, and we got them locked. I'm doing a terrible Chicago accent. Please forgive me. We're doing some deep dish pizza, and they were stuffing the pizza with cocaine. Can you believe it, Frankie? And then Frankie steps up, right? Frankie's not even a cop. Frankie steps up. Yo, Tony, you're going to need some protection because I found your ass, Tony. I told you I would rat you out, you sick mother, right? And then next thing you know, what's his face? Tony Bag of Donuts' cousin comes in, and somehow he's connected to this whole thing. He's like, yo, I told you the deep dish wasn't it. You wanted to go with the New York pizza, the Cubs versus the Yankees. And it just starts, y'all remember that stuff? And it was the most wild reality TV show you'd ever see in your life. So now I feel like we're getting back to normal. Do you know what I mean? Once I start seeing that happen, I know we're back to where baseline is. Bunch of guys out there on the streets exposing each other left and right. And if it ain't them, it's going to be Kash Patel. Here's the man.
I hope the media takes a look at every one of these charts because these are the best numbers for fighting crime in U.S. history.
Right.
And it's only 7 months in.
Right.
And to do that, our vehicle to do it of choice was Operation Summer Heat, which the FBI architected to go after violent criminals. And in just a 3-month span, you had 8,700 arrests of violent criminals. You had 2,200 firearms seized off the streets permanently to safeguard our communities. You had 421 kilograms of fentanyl seized. Just to put that in perspective, that's enough to kill 55 million Americans alone.
Isn't the question that I was asking? I don't know how many people it is, but it's a lot. I would say 55 million. So it's a big number. It's a number like you've never seen before and nobody's ever counted to. 1, 2, dos, tres, elemento P.
You had 45,000 kilograms of cocaine seized. And thanks to our Department of Justice partners, you had 2,100 indictments in 3 months, from June to September alone. Mr. President, that in and of itself would be historic for a 4-year presidency. You did that in 7 months because you let good cops be cops, and you partnered us with the right people at the Department of Justice to put the handcuffs on and bring them to court and put them in prison. And
this is what we need. This is what we needed. Get these people off the streets so that we're safe, our wives are safe, our kids are safe, everybody is safe. And I'm telling you, man, you gotta clean up these cities. President Trump stuns America by saying San Francisco's next, by the way.
Of government officials, which is always nice, that you start looking at San Francisco. I think we can make San Francisco. There's one of our great cities 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and now it's a mess. And we have great support in San Francisco, so I'd like to recommend that for inclusion, maybe in your next group. You'll get great support. Every American deserves to live in a community where they're not afraid of being mugged, murdered, robbed, raped, assaulted, or shot. And that's exactly what our administration is working to deliver.
Isn't it crazy that he's getting heat for this? I really, for the life of me, I will never understand how we've created a society of lunatics that are getting upset that the guy that is the main police officer of the United States, the president, by the way, the head of the executive branch, whose job it is to execute the laws on the books, is shocked that he's doing his job. We've gone so long with Joey and Barack Obama that they didn't want to do their jobs. No, they wanted to pussyfoot around and utilize the power of the government to go after their political opponents. That's what they were really good at. Barack Obama with the IRS, Joe Biden with everybody, all the 3-letter agencies. It's just crazy. It really, really is. So Trump is right. San Francisco was a great city 15 years ago. Yeah, I mean, there's some debates around that, but I mean, 15 years ago, what is that? 2005? It's been going downhill quite some time. I mean, the entire state has been going downhill quite some time. You want to know what's not going downhill? Is the streaming services that are provided here. And one of the major sponsors of the show is Westwood One, baby. Hey, football fanatics, are you ready for some primetime NFL action, baby? Because I know I am. We've been talking about it a lot. And if you haven't tuned in yet, what are you doing? You need to tune into Westwood One for all the gridiron glory you crave. You're going to see some jaw-dropping hits, folks. Some big league touchdowns to game-changing plays, and you're not going to miss a moment of it. So don't miss the moment of the excitement. Catch every snap, every tackle, and every victory on Westwood One. You can listen to the NFL on the NFL app, on the Westwood One Sports app, on the WestwoodOneSports.com via Westwood One station streams, baby, or by asking Alexa to open Westwood One Sports. If it's the NFL, it's on Westwood One. We've been plugging them a lot, man. And I don't steer you guys wrong. We steered you correct with the coffee. Now we're steering you correct where to go to watch the NFL. Use that QR code right here, right now with your phone. Just put it right up there and take a photo of it, baby, with my smile. There you go, with the Westwood One Sports app. Check it out. Again, you get it everywhere. Love them. Appreciate their sponsorship. They're keeping the lights on here for us, as are all of you. Well, in other news here, if we can get to it, the Capitol Police launched an investigation on Tuesday after an American flag with a superimposed swastika was spotted in the background of a virtual meeting in Ohio Republican Representative Dave Taylor's congressional office. Taylor condemned the symbol as a vile and deeply inappropriate, stating it does not reflect his office's values, and his team suspects vandalism while cooperating with authorities. The incident occurs amid scrutiny over leaked anti-Semitic messages from young GOP officials, with Democrats like Representative Jamie Raskin calling for accountability. So here's the a closer image of it. I mean, it's definitely a swastika. It's an odd thing to have there. It's very pixelated, but it does look like there's tape or something right here. And I don't know. Yeah, it looks like there's tape here as well. Very weird. It's so odd to me. Again, it's weird that these history teachers and these revisionist history personnel, they always equate Republicans and conservatives to Nazism. But if you look at what a Nazi is, right, the Socialist Party of Germany, it's odd to me because that's strictly a leftist idea. And what's weird, I actually know a history teacher that does this. Not at the place I work at, but at another school. I've actually seen them teach that the right, because in Europe, the right side of the aisle is our left-hand side of the aisle. So it's switched. So their right is our left is their right, if that makes sense. So just flip it. So what they do is, because they're idiots and they don't look at the ideology, they just look at the name. They go, oh, well, the right over there in Europe during Nazi Germany days is Republicans and conservatives, because they think that because we're the right, that it's apples to apples and it's linear. It's not. It's flipped. They're idiots. Now, that's how they teach it. In the same way, they teach it's the North and South, not the Democratic South versus the Republican North. They don't do any of that. No. So now everybody's being labeled a racist and Nazi. Oh, look, doesn't this prove that Donald Trump and the entire Republican establishment, even those in Congress, are Nazis? Look what they're doing. They're going to go after black people and the Jews. All this silly freaking stuff. It's unbelievable. I don't blame anything nowadays, let me tell you. I mean, you all remember Jesse Smollett? The noose that was he was the one that was beat up with the subway stuff. Who was the guy that was in NASCAR that found a freaking rope in his garage and he's like, oh, there's a noose. It's like, bro, that's like a piece of string hanging from the ceiling. Like, come on. We all remember the Jesse Smollett thing. Was it Bubba Wallace? I think was his name. You guys remember that, the NASCAR guy? Yeah, but don't worry, we're all racist. You know what I mean? It's crazy because we have Mexicans that watch this show. We got blacks that watch my show. We got everything because they get it. They know we're not right. Why in God's green earth would a black person hang out with a racist? I never, right? It's because it's not a thing. Okay, it's not a thing. They just have to pretend it's a thing, because if they don't, well, then they lose the black vote, basically. Which, by the way, black people are waking up to the whole thing. They see that Republicans and conservatives aren't racist. I mean, if you know that old Southern hospitality, which I love, man. There's like this culture in the South. And the reason why I mention that is because not just black people families that do this, but the white people families too. If you've seen anybody in the South, they'll freaking invite you over for anything. You're just walking down the street. Hey, baby, you want to come in for some food and some supper? Right? It doesn't matter if it's black or white. They all sound the same. You know, it makes a Southern accent. Daddy and Mama got you some good old bacon goodies in here. You smell it, don't you? And I love that, man. That hospitality. They'll take such good care of you too. You don't get that here in California, let me tell you. And we got some family here. I'm meeting some, ball-bred Army people in Alabama and stuff like that. You know, if I ever showed up, you guys would open. I know, Ray, you have already told me. You guys will open arms. Come on in, Bradley. I'll take good old care of you. It's like the Aunt Majima commercials. You know what I'm talking about? It's Pine Sol, baby. It's Pine Sol. Some of you stumbled upon this podcast going, what the hell did I get myself into? Who is this guy? Who's this guy named Bald Brad? How the hell does he have 100,000 plus subscribers? I asked the same question. I'm right there with you, baby. I'm right there with you. All righty. Let's see what else news we can get into here. We have some other stuff. We have so much news. I'm telling you, it's freaking bonkers. I want to get into this one just because I want to, wet my whistle with conspiracy theories, and then we'll kind of jump into some other fun stuff. Hopefully that sounds good to all of you. By the way, if you can't tell, I'm really, Aunt Jemima, Aunt Jemima, you know what I'm talking about, Jericho. Don't do this to me. Okay, the maple syrup, baby. And then you got the Pine Sol lady. All right, now we got to pull it up. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's do it. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? The Pine Sol. How do you spell Pine Sol? Commercial. You guys, no. We're doing this right now. It's like almost like a dark MAGA.
Vodafone number.
That ain't the Pine Sol commercial. The hell? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Where's the Pine Sol lady? Forget it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Everybody's seen the freaking Pine Sol lady. Okay, well, Anna Paulina Luna. Dude, I'm telling you, every time I see this woman, freaking rocket, dude. Oh, God. Hold on a second. Let me fix this. I'm so tired of this happening. I got to log in. One moment, folks. We got to make sure that we get the... Oh, boy. Hold on. You got to be kidding me. Well, we ain't checking that in. Hold on. Fox News is not letting me read their articles. This is embarrassing, isn't it? Hold on. Let's see if we can get it going here. Not today, Fox! The sons of Anna Paulina Luna on Tuesday. First of all, can we just... She's married. I get it. So, hey, I get it. This is more for the boys. Ladies, water break really quick, okay? Water break. Holy lordy. All right. Conservative women just look better. It's a fact. Really? You want to test me? What is this? What is this? This is called Joy Behar of The View. You have this. Who would you rather be with? Joy Behar, Anna Paulina Luna. Joy Behar, Anna Paulina Luna. Joy Behar. I think we know the answer. Luna said she received, look at this, 350-page document from Russia's ambassador to the United States. A team of experts is en route to my office in the morning to begin translation and a full review of the documents we will be uploading as soon as we can. Ooh, I can't wait. I am uploading the files as they were given to me, she said in another post. There are no redactions from what I can see. Start the research. Start the research now, boys. Russia's embassy in Washington confirmed the handover, saying it provided Luna with the archives and the documents would be published in Russia in November. In May, Luna, the chairwoman of the task force of the declassification of federal secrets, called the death of JFK a momentous and tragic day for the Kennedy family, this country, and the world, which is true. Now, he was deleted and assassinated on November 22nd, 1963, while traveling in an open-top motorcade, which we all know. Now, they say it's Lee Harvey Oswald, and I want to go to the chat here. I want to go to all you tinfoil freaks, including myself, by the way. I'm in that. Under this hat, there's tinfoil, okay? As well as, you got a little... Yeah. Do you think it was Lee Harvey Oswald? And if you do you think he was alone? Or do you think he had more people with him? Was he a CIA operative? Who was he? Where's Rachel? Like Batman. Ooh, what is this? Hold on a second. Let's get this going here real quick. What is Tulsi Gabbard having to say about this? Of course, they got to give you a 30-second ad, so now I got to kill 30 seconds of time. So despite the Warren Commission finding that Oswald acted alone, the assassination has been a subject of multiple conspiracy theories, which I'm all about, by the way. And I don't have a favorite. I'll be there with you. That's why we're going to the chat right now. You can let me know whatever your thoughts are. I'll probably believe you, to be honest. It was the driver. Okay, that one I'm not. Jericho, you drunk? Put it down. Put it down, Jericho. Enough. Settle it. All right, here we go.
Fox News Alert, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing files pertaining to the 1968 assassination of RFK.
Oh, baby.
Just moments ago, this came out public. Tulsi Gabbard joins us now. Great to see you, Madam Director.
Nice to see you, Brian.
You've taken 10,000 pages.
It was not the driver.
You found them in boxes.
Stop it.
You put them online. What can you tell us? They say that caught you maybe by surprise, or we'll find the most interesting.
Can I point something out? I always do this. You have to read his books. He's one of my favorite historical authors. Brian Kilmeade. Read all his books. Man, they are so good. Anyways, I want to throw that out there.
Well, Brian, first of all, this came about because President Trump promised the American people that his administration would be one of maximum transparency. And one of the first things that he did when he came back into the Oval Office was issue an executive order that said we need to release all the documents that we have unredacted on the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. So we did the initial release of the previously never had been unredacted documents related to President Kennedy's assassination. And what we have just released here today is 10,000 pages that have been sitting in boxes within the National Archives that had never been digitized or viewed publicly before. These are documents related to the government's investigation into the assassination, documents related to discussions that were going on in other countries, State Department cables around the assassination, and a lot of the questions and theories that were being posed throughout this investigation that I think a lot of people, most people have never seen before. The significance of this is huge. It's been nearly 60 years since Senator Kennedy was assassinated. We're obviously not stopping here.
We'll see what more information comes out, and we'll be on top of it, just like we are with the UFO
we discovered
stuff.
10,000 pages at National Archives.
We're never letting it down, okay? Look, I still want the Epstein files. Is it going to happen? No. Okay, it's probably not going to happen for a long time. But it's interesting how many of you guys, man, some of you are hardcore and deep into the conspiracy theories. I'm reading the chat right now. A lot of people think it was the driver. Wow. And then some people like Drag are asking, what's the driver? Boy, you know, some of you just messed up Drag's life right now. Because now Drag is going to go down a rabbit hole and look into the driver of the Kennedy motorcade. And there goes his life. We're never going to see Drag again. Poor guy. Some people just wake up, you know. If you don't know the driver theory, a lot of people think the driver of Kennedy's motorcade is the one that deleted him. I am not one of those because I'm smarter than you and I know better. I'm being a smart ass. I don't believe in that theory, to be truthful. I really don't. But I think it's fun that you guys believe in it. It's always cute when people are still lost. Oh God, I love poking a little bit of fun. We're all having a little bit of fun, aren't we? A little bit of buddy footy fun. Actually took away my freaking tab that I was going to go up to next. Alrighty. Everybody simmer down in the chat, okay? Settle down. We have more stuff here. Where was it? Hopefully I didn't just lose it. Here we go. Blue cities. This is what I wanted. This is what Bradley wanted. Los Angeles County GOP chair Roxanne, is it Hoagie or Hogue? Ripped the county's Democratic leaders for having no shame in declaring a state of emergency over, get this, federal immigration enforcement operations, which she called a slap in the face to Americans. The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors voted 4-1 on Tuesday, look at this, to declare a local state of emergency in the region. Folks, Joe Biden wouldn't even acknowledge that what was going on at the southern border was a crisis, but the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors voted that there's basically a crisis happening at a local level. The declaration, which the board stated was in response to the U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement operations, provided residents with rent relief and legal aid if they have been affected by the raids. Yo, there's actual Americans right now that are being affected by all sorts of things, and they're getting a double middle finger by their own government. And what's even more wild is they say, thank you, sir, may I have another, because they continue to vote for this crap. Don't look any further than Chicago. Remember Mayor Lori Lightfoot? We always bring her up, dude. Basically looked like an extra from Michael Jackson's Thriller. She could be like in The Walking Dead, practically. I'm not trying to poke a lot of fun at her looks. You know, I'm not the most eloquent looking person myself, but at least I acknowledge that. Well, they got rid of her because she sucked. And then they go for her to Brandon Johnson. The guy sucks too. His head ain't on right. It hasn't been a head. I'm telling you, some of these people had been kicked in the head like when they were growing up. It just rattled them to the point where they're not coherent anymore. They're basically John Fetterman when Fetterman had to read from a teleprompter but still couldn't answer questions. And I'm not trying to poke fun of him. At least that guy had a seizure. What's Brandon Johnson's excuse? County departments were also ordered to, quote, take necessary emergency actions to protect and stabilize communities impacted by federal immigration actions. In an interview with Fox News Digital, Hogue said, Hoagie, that's a funny name, said that living in California, especially in Los Angeles, is like playing a constant game of whack-a-mole with outlandish policies and declarations. And she's not wrong. Oh, no. She said the progressive-dominated LA County Board of Supervisors has no shame in how far they will go to upend citizens' lives and prioritize illegals over citizens. I've always said this, for those, you should just come visit and experience California for like a weekend. And what I'm saying is land in LAX and then drive around LA just for a little bit. And what I want you to do is hop on the 405 or the 5 South, one or the other, does not matter. Head south to Orange County. You will notice 2 drastic differences. And I'm talking drastic. I'm not saying Orange County doesn't have their areas. They just tend to be Democrat. There's a way that Republicans live in California, which is Orange County, Huntington Beach, baby, Laguna Beach, all these great areas. And then there's, LA County and how the Democrats live. They love to have trash everywhere. They love to have caca and feces all over the sidewalks. Homeless people masturbating in front of your kids, literally taking a crap on your doorstep. Syringes and needles all over playgrounds. Please understand, I'm not exaggerating this one bit. I'm not being, this is as factual as I could possibly get. Please, I live here. And I'm telling you everything you could see on videos. You go experiencing it yourself. I've seen it all. You'll see homeless people fighting in the streets in Hollywood Boulevard, the most touristy of areas. I mean, it is a crippling area. Look at 3rd Street Promenade down there in Santa Monica. Practically shut down now. There's homeless beating the crap out of civilians. The homeless problem is so bad, they are throwing their diarrhea at civilians, folks. They're crapping in coffee cans, lighting it up, like heating it up under a fire, like a burner, and are going around and throwing it at civilians, like average Joe people like you and I. Don't get me going. I have so much. Some of you just threw up in your mouth, and rightfully so. Look at this. You would think that the emergency is having an entire community burn down and not having water in the hydrants. Correct. Yes. Well, lady, you're thinking about the sane people like all of us in the chat. Yeah, that's an emergency. You would think a state of emergency is due to criminal cartels taking over streets, but no. Nope. They're addressing the county board directly, or she is saying, I would say the ladies who run the most powerful county board of supervisors in the country, that it would be really nice if they would pay attention to the needs of Californians living in Los Angeles for just a moment. No, they are. That's the thing. They are. This is what they were about. This is what they're asked to do. Yeah, Skid Row. Oh, Skid. Don't even get me going on Skid Row. It's nuts. See, Republicans need to realize Democrats love this stuff. The Board of Supervisors is just doing what Democrats do. I can't blame them for this. I think it's idiotic. I think their heads are so far up there, they haven't seen daylight in years, if not decades. This is exactly what they wanted. This is what happens when you import third world. And this is why LA looks third world in some areas. I know I keep mentioning Hollywood Boulevard, but you have to understand is when you have the touristy of tourists areas, this is Hollywood Boulevard, folks, is where they host the Oscars. It's like where Jimmy Kimmel's studio's at, right there. The Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's where people put their handprints in at the Chinese Grauman's Theater. This is the Dolby Theaters where, again, they hold the Oscars, the Emmys, all these award shows. I bring up the touristy of tourist areas because when you look at this, this is where you wouldn't expect to see this type of behavior. Guys defecating in the coffee cans, masturbating in front of your kids. You have a lady completely naked doing yoga, and it ain't an attractive lady. It's different if it's somebody like Anna Paulina Luna out there buck naked on the street doing some yoga. I mean, that's a tip, okay? It's about a $20 tip right there. And, you stay as long as you want. But when you're seeing some of these freak shows out here, these furries doing some weird shit where people are visiting, can you imagine what it looks like in the rough areas of Los Angeles? Which, by the way, I've made a wrong turn in LA before. And there are people with their boobies hanging. I'm talking hundreds of people. This is not one of those things that's like 1 or 5 or 10. I'm talking hundreds of people walking around like zombies. I wish I had video of this. This was back in 2017, 18. I made a wrong turn to get onto the freeway, and there's just black people, Asians, whites, mostly blacks, running around, prostitutes everywhere with their like partial titty hanging out. Some of them are just completely just full-blown topless. There's camps everywhere, drugs, the whole gambit, the whole bit. People passed out on the street. You're trying to not, you're literally, your foot is off the gas because you're just creeping through all these people, and they're like zombies walking around. Man, it's bad. I was in Vegas a few weeks ago. The same thing happened, by the way. Another wrong turn, just trying to get to a destination. A bunch of freaking druggies, man, out there in Democrat ran area once again. Once again, where we were at, it's Democrat ran. So they're prioritizing illegals over citizens over there in LA County once again. No shock to any of us here. We know that's been going on for a long time. The other one I wanted to get into here is it looks like there's more havoc being wreaked on some schools here. So Virginia parents are ordered to post a $125,000 bond to continue the case. Look at this. So it says here, we're trying to get into this fight and do the best we can. So we've set up a donation page, and we're just hoping that we can get the community to stand behind us because it's almost impossible to raise money in the amount of time that they've given us. A father of one of the boys involved in this case said Tuesday. So a federal judge ordered parents involved in the controversial Loudoun County locker room dispute to post $125,000. So what's going on here? Wolf appeared alongside America First legal senior advisor Ian Pryor. Have you guys heard of this case, by the way? This is news to me. Ian Pryor on the Ingram angle to break down the latest developments in the case involving two Virginia boys who were suspended after the district found them responsible for sexual harassment for complaining about a transgender classmate in their locker room. What? So they're getting sexual harassment for complaining about a transgender classmate in their locker room? After video showed the two students complaining about a biological female in the boys' locker room, Loudoun County Public Schools launched a Title IX sexual harassment probe. It's Title IX. I can't ever do Roman numerals. That's my bad. Found them responsible and suspended them for 10 days with the findings slated to affect their permanent records. Now, if this is the case, you don't just get to go harass somebody. I got bullied severely in school. Severely. I hate that crap. I am not for people bullying other people. I think there is shame that you should do to people because I think it can actually make them into better people. There's truth there. I'm not saying all bullying is actually bad and people will take that out of context. I think there's lightheartedness of bullying. You know, guys bully each other all the time, their friend groups. That's all we do is talk shit on one another and we joke around. It's our way of saying that we like you. I mean, that's what guys do all the time. If anybody's ever been in a sports locker room or out having a stogie with the boys or gone golfing or done whatever, it's all we are is just talking mad shit on each other the entire time. And it's hilarious. It's fun. They made it seem like they were the problem for asking questions about why there was a female in the boys' locker room. The students won emergency relief in federal court last month, blocking the district's disciplinary repercussions once again while the case moves forward. According to a local report, the judge's recent order aims to ensure that if the LCPS prevails on dispositive pretrial motions, LCPS can recover from the bond its attorney fees. Oh, okay. However, the move puts financial pressure on parents to keep their case against the district moving forward and reverse the school's punishment imposed on the two students. Prior disputes that the case should involve at all, telling Ingram the bottom line here is that it's not Title IX. I think, am I getting that right? You guys correct me in the chat. Please let me know. The Title IX is sexual harassment. We all know what sexual harassment is. So are they just conflating bullying with sexual harassment? I'm not quite sure here, but trans rights are human rights. And I mean this sincerely. I have no idea what they're talking about. I am not joking when I say that. I'm not trying to be silly or cute. I have no idea what they're talking about when they say trans rights are human rights. Because they say, oh, well, I'm here for trans rights. It's like, okay, what rights are, like, really? I'm trying to figure out, what rights are you talking about that you don't have? Title IX, thanks, Chef. I appreciate it. I really don't know, you guys. And I'm being sincere. They keep doing this stuff. Oh, well, that's my trans rights. I'm here for, you can't take away my rights. Like, nobody's trying to take away your rights. We're trying to tell you to leave us the fuck alone. Just leave us alone. Why is this so difficult? You know what I mean? Like, like you want to chop off your wee at 18. I think you should have compassion with people. I really do. I don't think, if you're trans, I want to be clear here. I'll look right in the camera. I don't hate you. I don't wish you any ill will. If you want to go be trans at 18, go be trans, man. Whatever. Leave me and all the kids out there alone. Go do your thing. I think you should seek help, really. I mean, you cannot transform into something else. I know you think you can, but you can't. And I understand the struggle that you're going through. I fully get it. It's not something that's easy. But you should not, you're not allowed to force me to believe in something that's impossible. It's not possible yet with medical. Once it is, then maybe we can have that conversation. Once this AI figures out altering your genome and your cellular structure and your chromosomes, then fine, have at it. Have at it. We'll probably get some freaky deaky weird shit going on in our society. But until then, you can't do it. And I wish you the utmost success in life. I want you to seek help first before you go lop off your genitals, because it might be a bad move. It's not one you can actually, get back. And then if you really think that you cutting off your pee-pee and your boobies and all that stuff and getting rid of it and not having that sexual satisfaction anymore, if you think that's going to help you, you're 18, you can do whatever you want. I'm libertarian on this stuff. You want to go crazy, go crazy. I mean, folks, there was a guy that this is a really random tangent, but I just want you to see how crazy people are. There was this famous story, and you might be able to look this up. I think the newspaper clippings are still out there. There was this guy that was a cannibal. I think he was in Europe or something like that, or Germany. I forget. Again, somebody can fact check me on this. It's been like decades since I've read this story, maybe like 1 or 2 decades. It was a cannibal, and he legitimately asked in a newspaper for people to reach out if he can eat them. And you want to know something? People reached out and were like, "Yeah, you can off me and eat me." Yeah, I know it seems like I'm making up. You'll find it. It'd be hilarious if it ended up being like a whole bit. It actually wasn't real, but I've always believed it. I really have. The other breaking news here that I wanted to get to, and this is something Jackie Heinrich posted, and you guys know we follow some people in that White House, and they follow us back. We know who they are. Dozens of journalists from major U.S. outlets, including Fox News, CNN, the Associated Press, handed over their Pentagon press badges on October 15th today in protest against new restrictions imposed by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The policy, let's see if this is anything crazy. The policy mandates signing pledges to avoid unauthorized information and limits unescorted access. I believe what this means is you can't just roam around freely, which kind of makes sense if we're talking about the Pentagon. With risks of badge revocation or Espionage Act prosecution, news outlets and organizations across the spectrum argue the rules violate the First Amendment and hinder independent reporting on national security, leading to a shift towards remote operations and external investigations. If they're talking about the Pentagon, I don't think that applies, because the Pentagon, from my understanding, and again, maybe somebody correct me in the chat, I believe the Pentagon is a military installation. You don't just get to go as a freedom of speech. I get to walk around fucking Area 51 whenever I wanted to. I don't think that's in the cards. I really don't. And I could be wrong here. Let's see what Eric Doherty has to say. Breaking, the Pentagon has just confiscated the badges of nearly every. But folks, there was a huge walkout here is what I'm talking about. These people, I mean, there was a massive group of reporters outside the Pentagon. Every major media organization in the United States barring their access after they refused to sign on Pete Hegseth new security rules to guard sensitive information. Here we go.
Pentagon today and handing in their press passes. This is an extraordinary moment showing that the Pentagon is not changing, not backing away from this drastic, radical new policy.
Oh, it's
and
radical,
the news
drastic.
outlets, the reporters, the editors, the media lawyers who said this is unacceptable, they're not changing their tune either. So all the major networks, all the major wire service and newspaper reporters who cover the Pentagon day in, day out are turning in their credentials. And essentially, as of tomorrow, you won't have those journalists able to work out of the Pentagon complex anymore. Reporters have been showing up at the Pentagon.
Brian Stelter, remember what was his show called again? It was some stupid thing like reliable or something like that, or trustworthy, some stupid name. I forgot what the name. Maybe somebody can find it for us. It was so silly. So here's the photo that I was referring to. This is all the media outlets out there, all the groupies. Oh, we did it. It's like you're not able to roam around, and you just can't go walk around the area. Access isn't a right, it's a privilege. Pete Hegseth just pulled off the impossible. He made the media stop infiltrating the Pentagon voluntarily. There was somebody that might have, this is what I was, look at this. This is somebody that basically dumbed down it, and by that somebody, I mean it's Pete Hegseth. Pentagon access is a privilege, not a right. So here is Department of War press credentialing for dummies. So he had to dumb it down for people because, the media will try to spin this. Oh, it's freedom of speech. He doesn't want us in there. No, you could be in there. If you did these three things, guess what? You get to be in there. So the press no longer roams free around the Pentagon. I hate to say it, but listening to these psychos on the left do their reporting, I don't trust these guys one bit to be walking around any military installation, let me tell you, both on the right and left. These are the same guys. Do y'all remember this? Before we went and bombed the Iranians, the nuclear installations, do you all remember the reporting that was happening? Come here. These idiots in the press go, we're getting word right now that 3 B-2 bomb or stealth bomb. What do we have here, Jerry? Jerry? Okay, I'm getting reports that it's in fact B-2. It's no longer 1942. It's B-2 stealth bombers are leaving Hawaii and going to Guam or Guatemala somewhere. And we're getting reports that this is just routine, but we think it might be going to the Iranians. They can't keep their mouths shut about anything. We're getting reports that the United States military is conducting war operations with a brand new technology that the Chinese wouldn't believe that we have. So let me show you the schematics really quick on what this military jet is supposed to be capable of doing. They're idiots because they can't, I'm sorry to cuss right now, they can't keep their fucking mouths shut with some of this military stuff. You heard it from who was, even our own military, quite frankly, can't keep their mouths shut. Who was that guy? Not Lloyd Austin. Oh my God. Who was the other guy? The white guy with the kind of a chubbier version, didn't ever exercised. Milley, Mark Milley. Do you remember how he said that he would notify the Chinese before we ever did anything? The dude was out there in the open. Yeah, I'll tell the Chinese before we decide to attack them. Can't trust anybody anymore. So you can't roam around freely, God forbid. Press must wear a visible badge. Oh my gosh. Folks, I work at a school campus and I have to wear a badge all the time. Anytime I step foot on that property, I have to have a badge with my ID visible at all times. But, God forbid you have to do that in Pentagon. Oh my gosh, so terrible. Oh, freedom of speech. I have to put a badge on. I can't roam freely. Credentialed press no longer permitted to solicit criminal acts. Well, if you're not doing any criminal act, then you got nothing to worry about. Does this seem crazy to you guys? It doesn't seem very crazy to me. Done. Pentagon now has the same rules as every U.S. Oh, Pete, isn't that exactly what I said? The Pentagon has the same rules as every U.S. military installation. Isn't that what I just asked the chat? Isn't the Pentagon a military installation? It's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So the press are whining about this, as you'd imagine. Oh, it's so unlawful. It's such an overreach. How could he do this? Yeah, you know what? Go walk around Area 51. Just go walk across that gate. I'm actually curious because I've never seen somebody do it. I want to know what happens to you. All these people. Go walk across Area 51. Hey, freedom of speech. You said it. Freedom of speech. Well, you got the freedom to do it. Just curious on what would happen because I've never seen it, but I would love for you to film it. Live stream that shit. And I'll live stream it myself in front of my entire audience. I'm sure everybody else in here is curious on what's going on with that. Because I know I am. I know you are as well. All right, let's see if we have any other breaking news really quickly here. We can't show you everything, right? Because we still have we have a morning show tomorrow. I can't give you all the breaking news because we're not going to have anything to talk about. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Zohran Mamdani. He's in the news here. Let's go over this really quickly. Here's him talking about Hamas. Here we go. It's probably going to give us an ad, huh? All All right. Well, while we're waiting, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, folks, while we're waiting for this advertisement. I feel like there's advertisements on everything. You notice how we do one short ad, a good ad, by the way, but we do one short ad read here, about 1:30 long, and that's all you hear for an hour. Unbelievable. Here we go. Here's
As
Zoran
former
Mamdani.
hostages celebrate being home, there is new heartbreak for families of those killed by Hamas. Hamas says that it can't hand over any more bodies without special equipment to recover them. Israel says one of the 4 bodies returned so far does not match any of the hostages who died. Zoran Mamdani is leading the race for mayor in New York City, the biggest city in the country and the capitalist center of the world. The 33-year-old is proposing free childcare, free buses, freezing rent, and city-run grocery stores. He has claimed that we should not really have billionaires in this city, and he has vowed to make New York the strongest sanctuary city in the country.
Wow.
His views on hot topics like the NYPD and Israel have been a constant source of controversy, but he is ahead by 13 points right now in this race.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
sat down with him on the eve of tomorrow night's big mayoral debate in New York City. Here's part 1 of our exclusive interview. Thank you very much for being here. Candidate for mayor of New York City, you're up by 13 points. It looks like you've got the wind at your back. You've got a big debate coming up tomorrow night with the other candidates, Andrew Cuomo and Curtis Sliwa. Obviously, New York City policy is front and center, but I would imagine that some of the big headlines recently are going to come up tomorrow night as well. So I want to get to all the policy issues in New York, but I wanted to ask you this first. If you are asked tomorrow night, if you give credit to President Trump
Here we go.
for the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and the return of the 20 living hostages,
Layup.
would you raise your hand?
You know, first I want to say it's a real pleasure to be here. And thank you for having me.
Layup of a question.
It's an honor to have this opportunity to speak to so many New Yorkers and Americans across the country. And when it comes to the ceasefire, I am thankful and I have hope that it will actually endure and that it will be lasting.
Can't even
and I
thank
continue
Trump.
to have concerns because I've seen reports still, just this in the last few days, that 5 Palestinians were killed by the Israeli military. And that's what gives me pause about issuing any kind of praise or celebration at a
Wow.
moment
Can't
when it
do
is
it.
still so in its infancy. And what I will tell you is that in that same moment, it is also one that requires a focus on ensuring that that hope, that belief in a better future is one that is emblematic in our policies right here in New York
Crazy,
City as
man.
well. And that's what we're hoping to lead with.
So would you give President Trump credit or not, to any extent? Credit or not?
I think it's too early to do so.
Too early to say.
Wow.
But if it proves to be something that is lasting, something that is durable, then I think that that's where you give credit.
So
Whoa.
you've denounced Israel and the United States for the response to the slaughter on October the 7th. In fact, at times you've called it a lasting stain, the response, and at times you have left October 7th out of your statements completely around
Well,
this
it's not
issue.
convenient for him.
Right now, you just talked about Israelis killing some Palestinians, but Hamas is killing Palestinians within Gaza.
Yep,
And
they're executing
they
them.
have not returned the bodies that they promised to
Doesn't
return,
wanna bring
including
that up,
2
though.
Americans, Itai Chen and Omer Nutra, whose families we have interviewed over these months. So what is your response to what Hamas is doing now?
I think those are bodies and remains that should absolutely be returned. And I think that I have no issue with critiquing Hamas or the Israeli government because my critiques all come from a place of universal human rights. And my focus, however, is right here in New York City and transforming the most expensive city in America
What a
into
spin.
one that's affordable
Doesn't
for
want
each
to talk
and
about
every New
Hamas
Yorker.
executing Palestinians.
And I want to get to that, absolutely. But do you believe that Hamas should lay down their weapons and leave the leadership in Gaza?
I
Here we
believe
go.
that any future here in New York City is one that we have to make sure that's affordable for all. And as it pertains to Israel and
Wow.
Palestine, that we have to ensure that there is peace. And that is the future that we have to fight for.
But you won't say that Hamas should lay down their arms and give up leadership in Gaza.
I don't really have opinions about the future of Hamas and Israel beyond the
Sure
question
you
of
do.
justice and safety and the fact that anything has to abide by international law. And that applies to Hamas, that applies to the Israeli military, applies to anyone you could ask me about.
Okay. One last thought on that. You have said that you would arrest Netanyahu if he came to the United States. You've been very outspoken in your
Dude.
criticism of him. Do you stand by that? You would arrest him
That's
if he came
crazy.
here if you were mayor?
I've said that this is a city that believes in international law, and this is a city that wants to uplift and uphold those beliefs. The Prime
The United
Minister...
States doesn't stand by the International Criminal Court.
It hasn't signed the treaty for the International Criminal Court. The International
Wow.
Criminal Court, however, has issued a warrant for the arrest of Benjamin Netanyahu,
But
as
what
it
grounds
has...
in the United States could you arrest him on?
As it has for Vladimir Putin. I've said that I believe that we should uphold arrest warrants by the International Criminal Court and that we should do so only in abiding with all of the laws in front of us. I'm not going to make a new law to ensure that we can actually do this.
Do you think that Commissioner Tisch would allow you to arrest Netanyahu in New York City?
I've appreciated Commissioner Tisch's leadership of the NYPD, and I think that she's done a good job at lowering crime across this city.
But do you think that she would go along with arresting Netanyahu in New York?
I can tell you that I'm going to exhaust every legal option in front of me, not to make new laws to do so.
All right, so we got that business at the top of the
That's crazy, man. I guess we shouldn't be surprised. I mean, this is a guy that wants, free housing. Yeah, asshat's a good way. Yes, Hunt. Yep, Hunt got it. Holy lordy, dude. Wow. Do you notice he doesn't want to talk? The moment that you start bringing up Hamas, all of a sudden he wanted to talk about New York really quick. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, I'm here for human rights. Really? Really? Yeah, hey, Hamas is he brings up Israel taking out a bunch of Palestinians, like 5 of them, right? He mentioned that, 5 or 6, right? And then she brings up, well, hey, Hamas is also executing people, like actually executing them. For all we know, the Palestinians or Hamas is the one that shot at the Israeli soldiers first, and they're just protecting themselves because they want to go back to their families. But here you have Hamas executing Palestinians in the backs of their heads. And then when that's brought up, oh, well, I'm here for New Yorkers, and I'm going to give them free housing and busing, and I'm going to get rid of all the billionaires. Like, all of a sudden, weird. Hey, do you want to give Donald Trump praise just a little bit for establishing a ceasefire at least? It's still too short to tell. We'll have to see if there's everlasting peace. It's like, bro, you're not even going to be fucking around for everlasting peace, you idiot. Because it's everlasting. So stupid. And they'll vote the guy in. I hope they do. I hope the guy wins. I'm so curious to see what happens. I really am. So, alrighty. Well, that's today's show. We did another hour, man. Surprise Wednesday stream. We haven't done one of these in a long time. We will be back here tomorrow, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, bright and early. That is right. 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to bring you the energy, to bring you the news, to bring you the culture, the politics, the commentary with a conservative spin and a conservative ideology, because hell, conservatives are the ones that are right. The Democrats, the progressive left, well, they're just freaking wrong. And it's all true. If you haven't already, it's your first time here, let us know in the live chat. Appreciate you. We'd love to give you some shout outs. You can also head over to baldbrad.com. A lot of people don't know this. I'm an author. We have a book called Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. If you head over to baldbrad.com, folks, the book's right here. Get yourself a copy. If you click here right at baldbrad.com, you can get the book. And it's only a few bucks. I think it's like $7 for the Kindle version. Go get yourself a copy. The holiday season's coming up. It's a great gift idea. If you have a wife and she doesn't buy anything, first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, well, put this on your wish list. Say, hey, I know this bald guy that runs a pretty damn good podcast. I'd love to support him. I'd love to read his book, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. Would appreciate you. And also, we have a donation tab up here at the top at Bald Brad. 97% of the proceeds go to us, folks. Don't feel like you have to. It's there for those that want to. There, you can do a one-time donation. You can do a monthly, weekly, custom amount. If you want to throw $1,500 in there, I'll take your money. Keep the lights on here for us. I ain't going to complain. I'm a grifter. I take people's money and I put it back to good use, which is back into the show. Alrighty. Well, God bless you. We also have Rumble tomorrow, meaning Dark MAGA. Come join us for that as well. We got a lot of content here for you, a lot of goodies. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray before bed tonight, folks. And I don't know, call a family member or old friend and tell them you love them and just want to see how they're doing. With that being said, God bless you guys. Have a good night. Take care.